It's Wednesday, and everybody knows what time that is. It's time for Sports and Drafts with Dave. Oh, I got it right the first time that. And Chuck. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. We are getting close to the end of the NFL football season, and it'll be here before we know it. Gosh, how you doing, Dave? How's your week?
Good, man. Real good week. Good weekend. Hosted a party for my kid and had some people over. You were over. So it was good to see you and my sister, and great weekend and ready for another weekend of sports. Sunday kind of sucked because my Niners lost their rivalry game to my wife's team.
Oh, they had
So
that
she
game
was
too.
very happy, but I was not happy how that ended. Very close game. I mean, that game gave everything it could. Turnovers, crazy plays, penalties, injuries. I mean, that game had everything, came down to the wire. It was. I mean, it was an exciting game to watch for sure. How about you? How was your week?
Yeah, we were over in California across the border, and we got to see the grandkids, and obviously we got to go to a wedding, and we were there to babysit kids, but it was all good just to see the grandkids. Just loved having this time with them, and then coming to your house and hanging out for a couple hours and seeing you guys. Hadn't seen you in a while, and we look forward to seeing you guys here in a few weeks at our place. So happy holiday season, everyone. We wouldn't be Sports and Drafts without the Sports and Drafts. I'm going to be a little bit different tonight. I'm actually I wasn't kind of just down today, kind of out of it. Just maybe come down with a little bit of a cold or something. So I was on the couch this afternoon, and so I just made myself a homemade gin martini tonight with some olives, and I'm using a new gin. I usually have Aviation or Tanqueray 10, but I was at Total Wine last time, and I was like, I'm going to try something new. So this is Hadley's Hadley and Sons gin out of South Carolina, and thought I'd just small batch. So I thought I would give it a try and something different, something new, and I already had a sip of the martini. First time I've had it, and is in this martini, and I like it. It's pretty good. It's clean. It's. I didn't put. I went a little bit. It wasn't dirty tonight, and I'll let the show take care of that. But cheers. What's on tap for you tonight? Well, that's good.
Yeah. So I got kind of something a little bit different tonight. It's from Barley Forge Brewing Company in Costa Mesa, California. And it's called the Patsy. It's a coconut rye stout. If you can see that there. Try to get in close. I'm a big fan of coconut, so my flavors are pretty citrusy and tropical that I like. I like, orange things, citrus things. I also like coconut flavors. So when I just saw that picture of the coconut getting cracked open, that was appealing enough to me to give it a try. And it's a 6.6 ABV, and it's dark, nice and dark. You'll appreciate. Almost looks like I poured myself a Pepsi, the taste of the new generation, which was your generation. And it's really good.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, you said 6 something. I think I've got what? 46%. 46%. So cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Here's to a good show. So a lot happening in world of sports this weekend. We had college football playoffs. We had the Ducks getting their butts handed to them again this weekend. Did you know that their last 4 games, they either gave up 38 points or scored 38 points in the last 4 games? They either won. I guess it'd be 2-2. Utah beat them 38 to whatever, 10-7 the first time, and then the Ducks scored 38 points in their last 2 victories as well. Interesting little stat. Another interesting little stat is we no longer have a coach. We no longer have an offensive coordinator. Looks like we will not have a defensive coordinator, and we've lost 2 commits already that have decommitted. Not a surprise with that. But you know what? I'm gonna digress because there's probably not evidence of this in a previous show, but when Mario Cristobal was hired, I said it was a bad deal. You don't let the players hire your coaches. And you know, and that's what happened. I don't have a bad thing to say about the man, other than you know, didn't win the Pac-12 championship and lost to Utah a couple of times and didn't even show up the second time as well. I was shocked at that one. You know, horrible, embarrassing losses to Utah, but you know, he was a good recruiter, could bring in talent, just couldn't develop the talent. And so, I don't know. Any thoughts on the weekend, on any of the games? You know, the Ducks. You know, the new future of the Ducks.
Um, I'm not really surprised that Cristobal left. I mean, he played there. That's where he's from. That's where he grew up. But I would also say be careful what you wish for, because we had a similar situation happen with a Florida man, Willie Taggart, not too long ago, who went back to his alma mater, Florida State, and he got ran right out of there quick.
Yep.
He didn't win, and that was over lickety split. So I wish Mario well. I hope it works out for him. I hope he can bring the University of Miami, the U, back to prominence like it was when he played there under Jimmy Johnson. But guess what? If he does not, I don't even know where Willie Taggart's coaching right now.
No.
He disappeared after these two jobs, after he left. So
he's probably coaching a charter school somewhere.
So I would really hate to see for Mario to take this, and then he can't bring Miami back, and then he loses this job in a few years, and then he's going to be a defensive coordinator at South Florida State University or something. So good luck to him. I understand it. You know, that was his dream job, I'm sure. And when you get offered your dream job, it's, you know, you're not going to say no. And I really don't know who we're going to replace him with. I really have no idea who they're looking at. I
mean, top of the list right now is going back is Chip Kelly. They think they can get him out of UCLA and bringing him back. I don't know if that's even possible, but he I had a list. There was a list. I should have brought it up, but there was a list of the odds of who could be coached. But we're talking Bill O'Brien. I didn't even know he was coaching college football, you know, after he left the Texans, but he's coaching. He's a head coach. He's on the list. Lane Kiffin, maybe. You know, I mean, there's some coaches out there. I think they've got a list of like 15 potential candidates, but I think the only ones that kind of rise out there for me would be, you know, obviously maybe Chip Kelly, but you know, we're in a different, Jake, thanks for joining the show. We're here. Lane Kiffin's available. You know, I think he'd be good for offense. I just don't know about the rest of the program. You'd have to have some fantastic coaches behind you taking care of the stuff that you can't take care of. So, you know, it's like me. I think I'd be a good offensive coach, but I would not be a good defensive coach and the schemes behind defense. But you know, that's just where I'm at. But thanks for joining the show. And Jake says they got Lincoln Riley and his 5-star recruits.
Yeah, USC is going to be rolling here real quickly.
But
or USC, you know, USC is going to be back on top real fast.
Well, we hope not above the Ducks. So yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. You know, I mean, I'm sure people have been talking to Chip. I you know, he kind of lied his way out a little bit when he left, and you know, I'm not going anywhere kind of thing. And then boom, he was gone to the NFL. I guess if the only thing that saves him is you're going to the NFL, and you know, but he's starting to turn around UCLA in that program there in the last half of the season. So, or actually even a little bit more than that, but you know, he's turning things around there. So he's getting some of his recruits, you know, work or up to oh gosh, I can't even speak tonight. You know, getting them prepared. Gosh darn it, developing them. Thank you, and so yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I hope it's just not a super quick pick, you know, or decision just to kind of, oh my gosh, we have to have someone in here and I hope they're not again polling the locker room saying, "Hey, who do you guys want to be the coach?" Because you know how that turned out, and I just, you know, I'm sure the guy was qualified, but you just don't hire the coach from the locker room. You don't let the players coach because you know what? In 2 or 3 years, those players are gone, and and you don't know that that coach is going to be able to develop the next set coming in. So,
Well,
anywho,
they need to get on top of it because they have a bowl game to play and it's recruiting season right now because high school seniors are finishing up their seasons. And I mean, this is, they're going to start committing if they haven't
yeah,
already. So we need to get somebody out there recruiting.
that's true. And Mike Bellotti offered to help. He offered to come back and coach the Alamo Bowl, but they're going to have the I don't know, assistant wide receivers coach or a wide receivers coach or something like that was on the team. He's going to be the interim head coach, at least through the,
Yeah,
through the bowl.
that bowl game should go great.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. The Sooners. That'll be a fun game. You're playing someone back. I mean, back east. This is gonna be fun.
I feel like these coaches shouldn't be allowed to leave until like the second week of January when all the bowl games are over.
Yeah.
Because these kids have committed to these coaches, and then when it's maybe their biggest game of their life, oh, sorry, I got $9 million to go somewhere else and love someone else's kid, just like I said I was going to love you. Bye. I don't think they should be allowed to leave until the whole bowl season is completely over.
Oh, I agree.
And they've done all of their job for that season. They've completed coaching for that season.
No, I totally agree. Unless you're getting fired, I think that's the only.
Yeah, unless you're fired.
You don't see NFL coaches leaving mid-season to go coach another team. It just doesn't happen. And and I guess for most teams, I guess technically the season's over. But I mean, in so many ways. But you just have your bowl games, and so you're just sitting here on your butt practicing for a month to play in a bowl game. But I mean, yeah, I agree with you. You should have to fulfill your annual commitment to the team. The team has counted on you all year, and now you actually were good enough to get invited to a bowl game, and boom, you're there without a head coach, and you're going to be without Kayvon Thibodeaux. He's going to sit out. Oklahoma Sooners has a star player that's going to also be sitting out. So because they're going into the being eligible for the NFL draft. So so. Anyway, so it'll be fun to watch the news every day to see if who the Ducks are interviewing or who's at the top of the list. But I don't know. Chip Kelly was successful with the team. I don't know if he could be successful again. He'd definitely have all the resources, probably a lot more resources than he has at UCLA. So yeah, Jake, what's your take on Kayvon Thibodeaux? I hate this. I get it, but I hate it because, you're going in the draft and you want to protect yourself from injury. But at the same time, you need exposure. And didn't he miss the Ohio State game? I think he was injured. He couldn't play the Ohio State game. So realistically, you got a bunch of mid-tier games all year. And I mean, the guy's a beast, but you want to see him against, national talent. And so, you're going to be playing the Oklahoma Sooners, and you should want to see how well that player is going to play against other conferences. That's my take on it. And he's projected to be the top, if not one of the top picks, or if not the top pick in the NFL draft this year. So I hate it. People buy tickets to see a team play, and when players skip out, especially when they're not professionals yet, and but I see he's really he's just protecting the paycheck, because he's protecting his draft value and a paycheck that comes with it. So what do you think, Dave?
I feel kind of similar. I mean, I've never been in that situation where I was going to be a number one pick or top 3 pick in the NFL. I don't know what the history of his family is like. He's only a sophomore.
Right.
So he's not that old. He's like 20 probably. And I don't, everyone needs that check the further you go down. So if he gets hurt, he may drop in the draft. You never know when someone's just going to roll up on it. But that being said, you could get hurt at any time. He could skip this bowl game and he could pull a hamstring while he's working out, getting ready for the combine. I mean, I don't like when people make decisions based on woulda, shoulda, coulda fear, because that doesn't show me like extreme confidence. Any guy that's, to me, that's a dominant athlete would say, "Oh, I'm not going to get hurt. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to kick someone's ass." That's what
Yeah.
I want to see in my number one pick defensive end. Oh, we're playing a good team, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to kick someone's ass.
Yep.
And that's what I would love to see. I get there's a lot more to it for this kid financially and all that, but also, is he a we person or a me person? Because a lot of his teammates aren't going to be drafted. This is the last
Yeah.
game they'll ever play,
Yeah.
and they need him to make a good memory for them the rest of their life of winning this bowl game and going out, winning. Until they go on and move to whatever other career they're going to do, because they're not going to get drafted. So, it's hard. Like I said, everyone's got to make their own decisions. Just like you, I don't like it, but I can understand it, but I don't like it.
Yeah. I think part of it is, I don't know that it's I want to believe it's not all his decision, because watching him at home in the last couple of games, especially the Civil War against Oregon State, he was flat tired at the end of the game. It was his last home game, and he did not want to come out of the game. The guy was gassed. You could see it. He was gassed, and he was giving it everything he could every single play, and telling people, on the rotation, no, stay out. And he was staying in there to try to get another sack, to disrupt the play and to make a difference. So, I mean, he's definitely a competitor that wants to play the game. So I don't know if it's all him, but you said something that is really spot on. It's that we or me. And I just could not, just who I am today, I could not skip a game with my teammates because I'm worried about me and in what it means for me. And so, yeah, but best of luck to him. I'd love to see an Oregon. I don't know if an Oregon Duck has ever gone number one in the draft. So, I think it's been 3. I think Mario, or I'm not Mario, Mariota, I think, was 3.
Achilles Smith went 3.
So I don't know that.
Yeah.
Herbert went 6th, I think. And,
yeah, Joey went pretty high. Joey Harrington, I think, also went 3. Halati Nada went pretty high at defensive tackle. But yeah, I can't think of anyone else that went any higher than them.
So I guess I shouldn't eat olives while I'm talking on the show, right?
It's all right. It's just Jake and mom and dad.
So, there's someone else there too. So Cooper Kupp, man, this guy is he's going to town in the NFL, and I still think he's kind of one of those guys that just simply gets under the radar and is slightly still flying under the radar, but he's gonna break out as just being the guy, because I think he's still not given a lot of, whether it be fantasy draft, each game, because there's a lot of stars, but yeah, so the first player in NFL to with at least 100 catches and 10 receiving touchdowns in the first 12 games of a season is I mean, it's phenomenal, for a guy that's, like I said last year, I mean, he is definitely the star of the Rams, if you ask me, even before Woods was hurt. He's a go-to guy, and he's athletic. He comes back, he fights for balls. So, this guy's a beast, and I hate him because Andrew basically in our fantasy has the entire Rams offense, and beat me this week to knock me down from second to third. So And I'm projected to lose again this week. So anyway, I didn't know what you put this one up here for, so I'll let you go ahead and share this one.
Well, Steph Curry is now 16 3-pointers from being the all-time leading three-point maker in NBA history. He trails only Ray Allen. They're playing tonight against the Blazers. He was joking and saying he might try to get all 16 tonight, which would, of course, be an NBA record. Klay Thompson has the record at 14 made in a game. And he really was trying, because I'm looking at the stats right now and it's halftime. He's shot 12 and he's made 4. So he is definitely putting them up. Having 12 threes attempted in the first half is usually what someone shoots a game if they shoot a lot of threes in a game.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's definitely trying to get this over with. So it's a non-story. They're up by 2 on the Blazers right now at the half. But yeah, that's what that was. So he is now, what do we do the math, 12 away from being the all-time leading three-point maker in NBA history.
Yeah,
and he's going to do it way faster than Ray did it. I mean, he's going to do it in several seasons before, Ray had to do it in. So
yeah, and it's a different game today, though. There's a lot more outside shooting, a lot more 3 points taken in the game than there was when Ray Allen was playing, at least in the beginning to probably the first 3 quarters of his career at least. But no, it's good on him. I mean, I did not expect the Warriors to be like yesterday when I looked. They were tied with the Suns with the best record in the league at 20-4. So I think they've played each other twice, and I think they've split. So I think they were one of the Suns' losses, because the Suns went like 17 games in a row or something like that. 17, 18 games in a row or something like that. I don't know what it was, but yeah. So I think the Warriors were a loss for them, because I saw that they were playing after, or on the schedule after they already played, and I knew the Suns beat them the first time. So, plus, yeah, no, that's true. They actually played defense in the Ray Allen, Reggie Miller days. Yeah, and you look at Steph Curry, the guy practices from almost half court. So that's a natural shot. That's muscle memory for Steph Curry. The 3-point line. I was telling Dylan, talking to my son Dylan yesterday. It's like, there's a lot of guys who can't make a shot from the elbow, but they can hit a 3-pointer, and and it's just because it's muscle memory. It's what they're comfortable with. And so, Steph Curry, he's practicing those longer shots, and they're not as contested. You get closer to that line, it's easier to contest. So he's working something that works for him. Hey Robert, how you doing? Thanks for joining the show. Ray Allen was 137 years old. Yeah, and oh, you're hilarious. I loved Ray Allen. That guy has turned so many basketball games around, coming off the bench, and just taking a game over. And it's like, oh, you want me to hit some threes? Okay. And he just starts draining them. But yeah, no, that's great on Steph. And again, I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised, because they're still without Klay Thompson, I believe. Mm-hmm. And so, and they're sharing the best record in the league. So, anywho, hey, we've got a lot of picks coming, but we don't want to forget about this week's Play It Through Person of the Week, and so I think we should go ahead and jump into that. And this was one I was excited last week. I shared this with Dave. I saw this online. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've already got them set up for next week." This is so cool. So I'm going to shut up, and I'm going to let Dave share this week's Play It Through Person of the Week.
Yeah, this is a good one, and it's real close to me. So this is actually a team that we'll be featuring this week as the Play It Through Feature of the Week, and it's the California School for the Deaf in Riverside, which this team is about I don't know, 35-minute drive from my house, 35, 40 minutes. This school was founded 68 years ago, and they've never reached a championship game until this year. So it's the only deaf high school in their division and one of only two high schools for the deaf in California. So every Cubs player there that you see and the head coach, all completely deaf. They have to sign to each other. They sign on the field. They don't run plays in and out. They don't huddle. They literally sign what the play is in formation. They just kind of line up, and then quarterback starts signing. He gets the call in from the coach, and then the offensive players shift around. Also want to mention they do play 8-man football, so it is a small school as far as enrollment, and the conference they're in is also smaller schools in the Riverside area. So they do play 8-man football, which, if you don't know, I mean, naturally you have 11 men on the field, so 22 total, which that really kind of condenses the field. When you have 8 on 8, that opens up the field so much. So oftentimes these games, these teams will score 60 points easy in a game. I mean, they might score 80. There's just so much open room and so much open field that it's basically one-on-one coverage. There's not a lot of zone played, so you can really score a ton of points. And they did reach that championship game. Unfortunately, they lost. Their quarterback got hurt right before halftime, and then they had a rough second half. They ended up playing Faith Baptist, which is a perennial powerhouse. They often win the championship in this conference, and they did again. But nothing to take away from this school, the California School for the Deaf in Riverside. Done something their school had never done before, reach a championship game. And they're talking about momentum. How do these kids know about momentum if they can't hear the crowd? And it's just body language. They use their eyes for everything. They can see if the crowd's cheering and jumping up and down for them. They can see the looks on their opponents' faces. They can see their body language. Are they tired? Have they gotten, these kids down on the other side? So they use, other senses, especially their sight, to really help get them by. And just a real tight knit group of kids, and them being so close, and this being such a great story for these kids and this small team there in Riverside. We had to feature them as a Play It Through feature of the week, so that's why we picked them.
Yeah, I was so excited about this. As far as kids experiencing what they have to experience and work through it together in a collaboration. It's one thing when you're an individual, hey, I kind of got to worry about me, and playing it through or succeeding at this or, competing in this. But when you have to collaborate and work together as a team and communicate the way you do, is absolutely phenomenal. I think it's a help to them, because obviously I don't think the defense is going to pick up on their calls too easily, But no, but seriously, I think this was I just love seeing this, and congrats to them for making it to the championship game and competing. So yeah, that was a fantastic pick. I was so excited about this one when I read about them online, last week. So, hey, so with that, we'll transition into. But thanks again, Dave, and another fantastic Play It Through person of the week. And if I had that up there, but if you didn't get in the ticker the whole time, please go and follow Dave and his organization. Play It Through on Instagram, Facebook. Learn more about it. Get the merch to support your cause. And Dave's, go ahead.
All our current viewers have purchased Play It Through merchandise.
That's awesome. So we thank all of our viewers, and do us a favor, share the organization, share the page with everyone else that and because Dave is doing great things with Play It Through. So moving on now we've got some week 14 picks. Oh, I guess before we get into that, there's probably a little bit of administrative stuff to do here. So you picked up what, 2 games on me this week?
2 games, yep.
Yeah. So I like. You know what? That 100. That looks really nice.
doesn't it?
You know, I just see that 100. I don't care if I score any more points the rest of the season. Just getting over 100 picks right in the season. That feels pretty good. But yeah, you made up a couple on me this week. Which games did you?
The games I made up on you were. Let me look at my list here. You got me on the Washington and Raiders games,
Mhm.
which I had some friends from Washington actually attending that game. Um, and I believe they were Raider fans, so they got to see their team lose on their trip. Robert was there, but not at the game. He was in Vegas. Um, I got you on the Dolphins beating the Giants
Mm,
by over 3. I got you on the Eagles beating the Jets by more than 6.5.
mm.
And then I had you on the Chiefs beating the Broncos by over 10.
Ah, gosh, yeah. Damn Broncos.
Yeah,
Broncos. Damn Broncos.
I'm happy about it. I got to put an
Yeah.
L on my sheet for the Broncos. Yeah. Come on, Lions. Lions roar.
Oh my goodness.
Your big
So
win.
I know who you're going to be picking this week. So Robert's like he tried to get in, and the Clear app, yeah. But so okay, so we've got some. So first off, we won't be picking games for the Patriots, Dolphins, Eagles, and Giants this week, as they will all be taking the week off, enjoying the sun and fun wherever they are because they have buys. I got it. Oh wait, no, I did pick these games. I did was kind of a bit late on it. I need to actually open my file because I have no idea. I forget who I picked. So I got to open my file over here so I know. But so let's go ahead. So our first game of the week is the Steelers. Surprisingly, beating the Ravens last week. They're going to go visit Minnesota, and Minnesota is actually a 3-point favorite going into this game. So what do you think here?
I'm going to take the Steelers. They played a tough game and beat the Ravens, who I think the Ravens are just as good, if not better, than the Vikings. I see that as a similar kind of team. The Vikings, you really never know what you're going to get. I don't know if Dalvin Cook is going to play for them this week. Madison is a great backup for them, though, at running back. Adam Thielen is also out for the Vikings this week, so that leaves basically Justin Jefferson having to catch all the balls from Cousins. And I just feel like the Steelers, after that big divisional win, might have a little bit of momentum and could pull this game off. So I'm going to take the Steelers winning away.
Yeah, I had picked the Steelers also, and not that I want. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, they should have lost to the Ravens. I don't know what's going on with the Ravens. And it just so happens that we're going to transition into the Ravens Browns game. I'll tell you that I have no reason to do this, but I'm taking the Ravens. I just have no faith in the Browns. I don't know what's going on with them. The Browns could easily win this game. It's 2.5, so a field goal wins this game for the Browns. Such an easy game to win for the Browns, to be honest. I'm taking the Ravens. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the Browns. I think they had a bye week last week, if I'm not correct. So they had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. So just with being at home and having 2 weeks to prepare, and I think this might have been a close game anyway. I'll just go ahead and take the Browns at home, and it's 2.5, so a field goal gets it.
Yeah. So the Titans are, man. I mean, it's the damn Jaguars. God damn those Jaguars. You know, the thing is they can put up. I think they could put up points. But you know, I'll start off with I'm taking the Titans. Damn Jaguars.
I'm gonna take the Jaguars.
You should.
I'm gonna take the Jaguars just because it's 9, and the Titans are not the Titans without Derrick Henry, and they've shown that the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
The first week without him, I thought they got by pretty well, but I think everyone's figuring it out now defensively against them, and I think the Titans win. I just don't think they win by 9.
By 9. That's a good pick. Yeah, and that's a really good pick. And because I honestly, I would rather. I'm okay to lose this game, as long as the Jaguars win the game.
Yeah.
And because I'm done with the Titans. I've been done with the Titans. The Tannehill thing, it was never going to last. It was never going to last. And so, yeah. So anyway, so Raiders are going on the road after their loss last week, and they're going to visit the uptrending Chiefs of Kansas City. And Kansas City is favored by 9.5. What says you, Dave Webb?
I'm going to take the Chiefs. They're looking better. They had an awful slow start, and that was well documented by every NFL broadcasting station out there. But the Raiders have not played well the last few weeks at all. They still have an interim coach. I think that's coming back to kind of haunt them as the weeks go by and by and by.
Yep.
So I see the Chiefs trending up, the Raiders trending down, and I think at home the Chiefs could pull off a 10-point win.
Yeah, I picked the Chiefs in the here as well. They just looked good last week. I mean, I think the Broncos have been playing good ball this year, and they spanked them, I thought. So, Broncos really couldn't do anything with them. So, I don't think the Chiefs or the Raiders will do any better. So, yeah. So we're both on the Chiefs there. So Saints are going to New York, and this was a flip of a coin for me, but I'm taking the Jets to win this game or not lose by more than 5 or 5.
You know what? I'm on that train too because I think something that was undervalued and not really talked about last week just because the Jets aren't very good. But you got Taysom Hill for the Saints, right? Played quarterback for the Saints last week, threw 4 interceptions because he's not really a quarterback. He's, a Swiss Army knife, and he does that really well.
Right.
But I think he really showed last week he's not that great he's not going to be your starting quarterback. He's not. I just don't, he threw, I think, maybe 2 touchdowns too, but he threw 4 really bad interceptions. Gardner Minshew came in and played pretty well for the Jets. And guess what? Gardner Minshew didn't play too bad when he was a Jacksonville Jaguar.
Right.
If you look at his record, he has a winning record as a starting quarterback. So he was there at the wrong time. They brought in Trevor Lawrence. So he wasn't going to be the Jaguars quarterback because they brought in a new coach and a new rookie quarterback. So he basically got tossed, even though he didn't play bad. And the fans loved him. But now he's going into the Jets. And so if I'm the Jets, I let this guy start all year long because he might be your starter. Because Zach Wilson is crap. And they need more talent around him, whoever the quarterback's going to be. But he won with the crap around him last week. So if he wins this game, maybe it's not just the team. Maybe Zach Wilson isn't very good.
Right.
And maybe this guy can pick him up. So I'm going Jets also. Is Minshew at Philly? Oh,
Yes.
damn it. That's right. He won at Philly. So it is going to be Wilson.
Right? I thought it was Flacco.
I don't know if they're going to play Flacco, but one of their best receivers is hurt too for the Jets. I just think after watching Taysom Hill, I can't count on that dude to not turn the ball over more. And I still take the Jets at home by 5. I think Saints win by a field goal, but I don't think they win by a touchdown. I think the Jets can hold them at home.
I was just gonna see.
I think Jets could hold them.
Yeah.
Wilson's playing.
So Jets. Yeah, Zach Wilson played last week.
I think he'll have enough. I think Wilson will have enough to get him by. I mean, he's more of a quarterback than Taysom Hill is still. Even as a rookie.
Yeah, and and it sucks because Taysom Hill, he played well last year for the Saints at quarterback, and they started him, and over for the Buccaneers, there was Wilson was drafted above Mariota, but Mariota beat him in the Rose Bowl. Why can't I think of his name? Starts with W. I don't know. Anyway, Wilson played a decent game for New York. Yeah, they won the game. No, they didn't. They lost the game. Sorry, 33-18. I'm looking at the score right here.
You didn't play
And
bad.
and so, hey, we got our first weird comment that's just going to be spam. So I'm not even going to put it up on the screen from YouTube. That's our first comment, I think, from YouTube, though, in our live show. I know you can see it, but I'm not going to put it up on the screen. So, but hey, okay. So moving on, we'll get back to our banners here. And it's all right. So Cowboys. Ooh, them Cowboys. Saw Stan this weekend, Stan and Tammy. And stopped by the house to pick up something from him. And big Cowboys fan. He's not real happy with them, obviously, this year. But the Cowboys are favored by 4 going into Washington. Let's see. I picked the last one first, so I'm going to let you pick this one first.
Yeah, I'll take the Cowboys. They're causing a lot of turnovers this year, even though Heineke's been playing pretty well for Washington. He does have, some pretty good weapons. Gibson's a decent back. He's got some receivers. McLaurin's good to throw to. I think the Cowboys have too much firepower. I think their defense has been playing well enough where they cause a lot of turnovers. Diggs is bound to get another interception. It seems like he gets one every game for the Cowboys. So I'll pick the Cowboys.
Okay. Well, here's a game you can pick up on me because I'm taking Washington. Yeah, I just think they're playing good, strong football, and they're getting it done. Whether it's not flashy, they're getting it done, and I think they'll be able to stop. I think they'll hold the Cowboys on the run, and I think hopefully if they put Dak Prescott under pressure, he'll throw some interceptions. So, I'm sticking a close game, but I'm going to take Washington. Even if the Cowboys win by a field goal, I win this game. So, I'm taking Washington because I just have a little bit more faith in them. And you know what? It's getting down to the end of the season, and that's when the Cowboys just decide not to play football anymore. So they'll do just enough to get in the playoffs, squeak in that wild card, and then blow it from there. So that's what's going to happen. They do it every year. So until they prove me wrong, it is what it is. So Falcons going to visit the Panthers, and Panthers are favored at home, but they're getting that home field 3 points. I actually have to look and see. I don't want to cheat here, so I forgot who I picked in this, and I want to say I'm picking the Panthers. So taking the Panthers at home, and I think I'm just maybe giving that home field. And I you know what, Matt Ryan can sling the ball around. I'm still just going to take the Panthers.
Yeah, I think this is close enough, and I need to pick games on you. So I'm just going to pick the Falcons just because I think I'd have a shot to pick up a game on you. And I think this would be a real close game. The Falcons have shown now that they have Cordell Patterson back, they can do a little bit more. Yep. Kind of like I was talking about, he's kind of the key to that offense since he does so many things. And as long as he's on the field, I think the Falcons might have a shot. So I'll pick the Falcons just to try to pick up a game because I have to pick up 11. So we don't have a lot of weeks left. I got to kind of chip away at this thing or chip away or get blown out. Either way.
Right. So we have moving on. The team that will not be mentioned is playing in Houston this week. And that was a rough game. I totally thought the 49ers had this game early on. There was no ways. I mean, they were shutting the Seahawks. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I just literally don't know what happened other than an absolute meltdown. You know what I did see it. And I, so what was it? Garoppolo, he threw a pick. He fumbled, right? Or no, safety.
Got a safety.
Safety, that's it.
Oh, you should have seen me when that happened. I lost my mind.
That's right. So he had a pick, he had a safety, and then the next series they decide to go on 4th and short. And this is, to me, I felt like this is a coaching decision to make a quarterback change decision to say, I'm going to call a play, have a quarterback from the shotgun run it. and he had no shot. He had no shot. I felt like the team set him up to fail on that 4th and short, and that's not the play. That's not the play I'm calling when my quarterback in the previous 2 series has turned the ball over or given up point, with the
We
safety.
we do well with power football, and we have the best left tackle in football, offensive percentage wise. I mean, if you look at ratings of offensive players, our left tackle, Trent Williams, has the highest rating of any offensive player in the NFL. So you run behind him. We're one of the only teams that has a fullback in Juszczyk, who's a great fullback. We have the best blocking tight end in the league in George Kittle. You run that to the 5 hole. Like you run to the 5 hole, and you have Kittle over there, and you have Williams over there, and you have Juszczyk lead the way, and you're going to get that yard with Elijah Williams running behind those 3 guys. I'd almost guarantee you that's 3 of the best blockers in the league, if not the 3 best blockers at their position in the league. You just go at the 5. I mean, how do you think Sean Alexander ran for all those yards? He had a great left tackle and a great left guard. I mean, there's been a lot of combos like that. So I don't know why they didn't just play power football, put Jimmy G under the center, hand the ball off to a back, and have him run behind those 3 guys to get 1 yard. That should have been the play. I mean, those guys are so dominant. You could have told the Seahawks what was coming, and I don't know if they still could have stopped it running behind those 3 guys.
Yeah. There was no excuse in that game to lose. I know we haven't picked. We haven't picked this game yet. I think I picked the Seahawks to win this. I think I picked them to cover the 7.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that too, and I'm gonna say hello to Nathan who just hopped on. But yeah, we're both taking the Hawks.
Yeah. Nathan, thanks for joining, buddy. He's here in Arizona. Good to see you. Man, this guy's been doing some holiday cooking. I've seen on he's made some the cake pops this weekend and some tamales. The tamales are commitment, man. I haven't tried to make those, so good on you, Nathan, for doing that. But Roberts asked the question, who's QBing for the Panthers? Well, the Panthers say it's Cam Newton, so and not Walker. So they're going to stick behind Cam Newton, which I think is the right thing at this point. At least, he's a fan favorite. He's probably going to at least give the team keep him up, but yeah. So anyway, so on to the Seahawks and Texans. I said, yeah, I'm taking the Seahawks. You said you're taking the Seahawks. And we can now move on from that game. And we move on to the no longer winless Detroit Lions. The coach has moved out of my hot seat for 1 week, going up against the Broncos. The Broncos, who lost pretty big to the Chiefs last week, couldn't really do much. They're favored by 8 at home in the Mile High City. So I'm taking the Broncos. I still, one game isn't gonna sell me on that they're gonna go on a run.
Yeah, I really want to take the Lions here. I want to feel that momentum move over to another game, and I'm not saying they'd win. They could take this momentum and keep it close against a okay Bronco team. Yeah, I'm going to take the Lions. I'm just going to take them. I'm going to take these Lions, not to win, but not to lose by 8, just to keep it, just to try to stick in it. Maybe they carry this momentum to at least, keep it close, and see what happens. So I'll take the Lions just for the shits of it.
They've been in close games this year and have just given up the win down the stretch in the fourth quarter. So you could actually be, absolutely correct here. So, all right. So the Giants of New York are going to SoFi and going to play Herbert, who we both picked against last week. I think that's maybe the first time I picked against the Chargers, and the Chargers decided to. I honestly jumped on your bandwagon with the Cincinnati Bengals. I was
blew it.
I was following your hype on the Cincinnati Bengals when I picked them last week to beat the Chargers, and we were driving. We had left, and so I was listening to the game in my headphones while we were driving, coming home, and and it was a close game at the time. I think Minnesota Bengals were up by 2, I think, at the time, or something like that, or down 2, and then Chargers just turnovers and just took over the game. But yeah, Chargers at home, 10.5-point favorites. That's a big spread, not the biggest of the week though. And who do you got here?
Oh, I have the Chargers. They're definitely able to kick somebody's butt. They have the talent. It's just if they all show up at the same time. But the Giants were just miserable last week. Their quarterback play, I think they had Glennon in there who barely completed any passes. So now they're playing Fromm, who hasn't really played. So yeah, because of the quarterback selection for the Jets, I don't think they can score any points, and they're on the road, and the Chargers can score a ton of points. So I got to take the Chargers.
Yeah, I got the Chargers here as well, and they better not let me down. Us down now. Well, this should make you feel good. I think the Bengals have been hot. The 49ers were on a run, gave up, threw away a win to Seattle. But the Bengals being favored by 1, I think, is a benefit to the 49ers, at least for you picking them. And I know it's really kind of my turn to pick, but I'm going to let you pick first.
Yeah, I got to pick my team. I'm not going to bet against them. I don't know if I haven't looked and seen if we get any of our injured players back. That would be nice if we should have won that game in Seattle, but we didn't have our best receiver, who's one of the best receivers in the league, Deebo Samuel, who also plays running back for us. And we didn't have our best defensive player in Fred Warner at middle linebacker, who calls all the defensive plays. We basically had, 2 of our best players. Our best player on each side of the ball was out, and we still made that close. So if we can get some of our guys back healthy, hopefully for this game, I think we have a good shot.
Well, I actually think the Bengals are better than Seattle, so I'm going to take the Bengals. I'm taking the Bengals at home by 1.
That makes sense too.
And they did score some points. I just think that they got more offense than Seattle. Oh, yeah. And with the 3 drives that I saw that gave that game away from the 49ers and Garoppolo, of the 3, I only blame Garoppolo on 2, the interception, the safety, but I'm going to blame the head coach on calling a run play on 4th and short for your quarterback who just struggled in the last 2 series. I'm not putting it in his hands when I have to have a first down. I need whatever it was, 1 or 2 yards. I need that. And, I'm pulling out my best goal line, 2-point conversion play. I'm pulling it out right now. Whether I need it later or not, I'm pulling it out right now because I have to have those first down to stay in this game. And we call a quarterback draw. And,
I would have handed the ball to George Kittle. You can't stop that beast from getting 1 yard. You can't tackle him and stop him from getting 1 yard if he's got a full steam ahead.
So here's a game you can either pick up on me or we'll see. This should be a good game, and the Bucs are getting stuff done, but they're not doing it in convincing fashion. The Bills also have been playing mediocre ball, and who knows who's going to show up each week. I'm taking the Bucs here by 3 at home.
Yeah, I'm taking that too. I think they had a bye week they've been playing better. Gronk came back. He's been playing well. I'm not going to bet against Tom Brady at home, especially games near the end of the season. I'm just not going to bet against a Brady-led team at home at the end of the season.
Very good. So your second team, the Bears,
going to get shellacked.
Frozen tundra. I hope it snows this week. I hope there's 2 feet of snow on the ground. I'm waiting for. I want to see a really good snow game. It's got to happen.
I thought it was going to happen with that Bills New England game because at
Yeah.
the start of the game there was a ton of snow flurries and then it stopped and it was just super windy. But the snow stopped. So yeah, that I'm definitely ready for that. And I need to start looking for fantasy too. What the weather's going to be. I went in needing like 8 or 9 points to win this week. And my kicker was New England's kicker, and I didn't realize it was 60-mile-an-hour winds in the game, so he'd only be able to have an opportunity to kick in like 2 quarters. And so I couldn't catch up. Speaking of that, oh my gosh, you want to hear a bad beat? I've lost my last two games in fantasy, and I'm in 7th place right now out of 10, which I would be like second or third. The last 2 games I've lost under 2 points.
Oh wow.
Total combined. I lost one by like 0.3 points, and the other one I lost by like 1.3 points. And so instead of being like second or third, I'm 7th. And I've lost by a combined 2 points the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was close. Well, I lost by 12 points this week. I lost to the Los Angeles Rams this week. If you had players from any other team, I would have won this week, Andrew. And but yeah, so I lost by 12. I'm projected to lose big this week, and it was funny. I have my tight end Hunter Henry, Patriots, has got a bye this week, and so I went to the waiver wire, the free agents, and there's like crap there's crap, and so I picked up Nigel, so I don't know, Nigel, something like that. I think Chicago Bears, maybe, I don't know, tight end. Seemed to, the matchup seemed great. Okay, I'll pick this guy up, right? So you claim him on like Monday or Tuesday, and so so today everything gets released. He gets released to my team, and I'm like, how come he's projected to get 0? Oh, he's on the COVID protocol now. All of a sudden in a day. Now I got to go pick up another I can drop him and pick up another tight end who's worth. I'm going to get 2 points out of a tight end this week. And I'm like I need to make up like 12 or 15 points on the Shiva is mine. So it's probably not going to happen. And I'm going to drop another freaking place and drop from second. Oh man, I could have been in first place this week. Anyway. I digress. So Packers, I'm taking the Packers at home over the Bears. They're just no one's showing that they can really slow them down, and they'll score the points when they need to. So I'm taking 12.5 at home, and I don't care if there's 2 or 3 feet of snow on the ground if there is. All right.
Bears getting smashed.
So it looks like that's the Sunday night game, yeah?
Yeah,
I
think so. Or it's either that one or Bucks and Bills. I can't remember.
Okay, so we get to Monday night. This is the big game of the year right here. This is my game of the week. These two teams. I mean, you got the best team in the NFL, the Cardinals of my Arizona, 15 minutes away, and those Los Angeles Rams, who I kind of like also, but the Cardinals won last time. I think Stafford's struggling. He's playing good. I think I said it somewhere else, or maybe even last week or somewhere. He plays fine against mediocre teams, and he struggles against good teams. And so I'm taking the Cardinals at home by 3.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals already beat them in LA. And I think a lot of that was, if I remember right, was Chandler Jones got to the quarterback a lot. Stafford didn't have time. His offensive line isn't great. If he has time, Stafford's got an arm and he can sling it around and he can find Kupp. But they really don't have a running game. So if the Cardinals bring guys like they did last time and they don't give Stafford time, the run game's not going to beat you of the Rams. So if you can hurry Stafford up, I think he's going to struggle. So I'll also take the Cardinals, and they're at home. So
yeah. This could be Anyway, I mean, you get last week we got, I think it was great that last week we got Tyler Murray and Anthony Hopkins back, so they could get some field time. gameplay, get that speed back before you have to go back in and play, another top tier team. And but I think if they win this game, they pretty much have the NFC West locked up. Maybe have to win one more game, maybe. And but they may clinch the NFC West if they win this game. I'm not sure, but they'll be close. They'll be within a game, I think, of clinching. So yeah, so that's it. We're done for the week with our picks. Normally earlier we do let's real quickly before we check out. Let's go through our game of the week and some of our picks. I really like my game of the week was the Chargers Bengals game. And I thought that game was fun to watch and or at least listen to while I was driving home. And a lot of stuff happened back and forth. It was a good game up until the second half, and the Chargers really then just took over on defense, I thought, and was able to open that game up.
Yeah, that was a good game. I thought it would be a good game. And then my game of the week. So when my 49ers play in the afternoon, and what I have to do is we normally don't get the 49er game since we live so close to LA. We get the Chargers and the Rams in the afternoon on both stations. So we always get those games. So we never get anyone else. If we do, we usually get Arizona first and then the Raiders and then the Cowboys even over the 49ers. So basically, nope, that's my wife watching her holiday movies. She watches all those Hallmark holiday movies where you don't know any of the actors and they're goddamn fucking terrible, every single one of them. She loves all of them. She watches every single one of them. Just like 9 hours of Christmas movies every day from December 1st. It's crazy. But yeah, so my favorite game actually, so I'm in my room and I have to project. So I go on and I stream through Europe the games that I can't see. I find a streaming site and I put them on the projector. So I have one projected over the head of my bed on the wall. And so Whitney usually spins around and has her head at the foot of the bed and watches the projector game. And then our TV is the other way. So I sit in my work chair. I bring my desk chair into the bedroom. So I look at the projector to my left. I look at my TV to my right, and I have two games going at the same time. And I'm flipping the commercials on the TV games if there's two games at the same time. So I'm kind of watching three games. And sometimes I'll even stream one on the iPad too, and I'm watching four games at the same time. But so that's what I was doing. And I saw the score of the Lions game, and I saw that they were up at halftime. And so I was like, you know what? I am switching in the morning on the projector to that Lions game because how are they going to screw this up? And they almost did it because I was like, they're going to screw this up somehow, and I want to watch how they do it in the second half. So I put that Lions game on the projector, and they ended up pulling it out. So that was my game of the week just because right when I saw them up, I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting because no way they can hold this lead. Something's going to happen, and it did, and they ended up winning on a pass with 4 seconds left at the end of the game, I think on fourth down. So yeah, that was fun. That was fun to see them get their first win. It was fun to see Goff sprint off the field and one of his teammates come to hug him, and he was beelining for the coach and was kind of like, hey, get the hell out of my way. I'm happy for you too, but I need to go hug the coach right now because we're finally not going to be ridiculed all week again, like they have been all season long. So that was my game of the week just because they got that first win. I felt good for them.
Awesome. Who was your offensive player of the week?
Well, it was just that one play, Goff to St. Brown. It was 4 seconds left. Goff throws that touchdown, gets them their first win. That's a rookie wide receiver that got drafted later than he thought he was, so he had a lot to prove. He made the play to get them their first win, which the defense was terrible on that play. Safety gets over super late. They're only like 10 yards away, and the corner's playing off, and the guy just runs like a really quick little short post, and he's standing at the goal line basically by himself, and Goff just has to zip it in, and the corner's playing too far off, and the safety didn't come up fast enough. He basically ran a curl route right to the goal line, and Goff hit him in the chest, and the defenders were too far away. I was shocked that they just let him do that. I mean, he just ran to the goal line and turned around, and then no one was around him for a couple seconds, and they were just late and lost the game. So I was, man, when I saw that, I was happy for the Lions, but then the coach part of me hit, and I was like, oh, that cornerback and safety are going to get their asses lit up when they get into that locker room. I mean, they just gave that game away. Like on the last play of the game, they just let that guy walk into the end zone and turn around and catch a button route, basically, before they could get to him. They just gave him way too much room.
I chose Jonathan Taylor, the Colts, 32 carries for 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, they were playing the Texans, but still, that was an impressive day for running back, and he was in control of that game. So, my coach, I'll let you do the last two because I didn't pick a defense. I didn't think anyone stood out to me on defense this week. But my coaching hot seat was Mike Zimmer from the Vikings, just for losing to the Detroit Lions. So that's for that reason alone, he's the coach on the hot seat this week. And they've been in too many close games and lost them this year. And so it's just about playing through the end of the game and carrying that. Because they've been in games, they should have beat the Cardinals, and blew it at the end. So, so I chose Mike Zimmer, but I did not pick a defensive player of the week.
Well, I'll do the last two. Mine go hand in hand. So my coach on the hot seat is, hey, Chuck, who's the coach for the Texans?
Oh shit, I don't know. It's not Bill O'Brien. It's fuck. I don't know how many weeks I've had him on my. I have no idea.
That's my whole point. Is if you have an NFL coach, everyone should know their fucking name that watches NFL football. It's David Culley.
Yep.
No one's gonna know. Nobody knows who that dude is. This is an entertainment business. You know, do you want a wrestler in the ring that you don't know his name, or do you want Ric Flair? Like, I don't know this guy, and nothing against him other than he can't win games. But he goes hand in hand. So the Texans are terrible. They're just awful. The general manager isn't helping because there's no players on that team worth watching. There's no one worth paying to see on that team on the field anymore. The roster is complete garbage. So the general manager should be fired also. Because, you lost Deshaun Watson, but you didn't lose much else, and you guys are awful. So he's my hot seat, and then that goes hand in hand with my defensive player of the week was a group. It was the Colts. The Colts shut out the Texans. The Texans didn't score any points. They got absolutely blown out, and they only had 141 yards of total offense. They had like 30 yards rushing or something like that, and like 70 something passing. It was awful. Like 141 total yards, and were shut out. A professional football team. I mean, if that's me and I'm the owner, everyone's got to go. I'm firing everybody on Tuesday. You threw for less than 50 yards in an NFL football game or rush for under 50 and threw for under like 100? Like, really? And you got shut out. Like, you're paying some of these guys millions and millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Shut out 141 yards of total offense. Like, everyone's fired. Everybody. Like, I wiped the slate clean at the end of the season, basically with the whole team, and I just start over.
Yeah, I mean, and the Colts, by winning this game, just got above 500. So it's not like they were, a Super Bowl contender, all year. The Colts also had four sacks on that game. And two players each had 2 sacks and an interception. So, yeah, they were. That was a good pick.
31-0.
Yeah, 31-zip. So, Colts are now 7-6, and Texans are 2-10. So, everybody's fighting for that first draft pick. I don't know if Jaguars really want to go and start winning games or anything right now.
Well, there's no quarterbacks to take. So if you are going to take Thibodeaux, how's he going to help? How's he going to help the Lions? So you got a guy that can rush. So he gets what? Not even a sack a game,
Right.
That's what cracks me up about, like, oh, we're going to take this defensive end. And it's like, a lot of these guys are lucky if they get one sack a game. And I know there's hurries, and you have to alter your scheme to not, maybe run pass plays that way or roll your quarterback out towards a guy like that. And you have to double team certain guys like a TJ Watt and, those kind of guys. I mean, they're scheme guys and they do more than just hit the stats, but still, I mean, what's a defensive end make? Like 4 tackles a game and 1-2 sacks if he has a good game? To me, that's not changing the game. I mean, I need a shutdown corner. I need to make sure a guy doesn't catch 2-3 touchdown passes on my defense and the quarterback throws for 400 yards on me every game. Like, I need a corner, I think, more than I need a defensive end in the league right now.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks are getting the ball out of their hand in like 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't care what defensive end you are. You're not getting to a quarterback in 2 seconds.
Not unless you have a shutdown corner. I mean, shutdown corners and safety. I mean,
yeah. So to me, if there's not a quarterback willing to take high, I take offensive tackle so that I can block long enough for my crappy quarterback I have, or I get a cornerback, or a safety or something that can cover all these guys that you can't touch anymore, and you can't, hit them above the shoulders, and you can't, hit them when they're in the air. And I mean, you really need shutdown corners more than anything in this league, and tackles. That'd be my number 1 picks.
Very good. So here we are at the end of our show. I gotta, I've been like nursing this thing to try to keep a little bit in the bottom just to get us to the end of the show. But one of the things, you need to catch up, man. If anybody's ever questioned or doubted Dave's stat keeping ability, he shared something with me today that I had no idea that he was doing. And so Dave, I've learned today, has been keeping track of all the beers and drinks that we've shared on the show. He's done this so that, in case we, don't want to duplicate anything. But so he's, since the beginning, has been keeping a list of everything for every episode that we've been sharing. I'm gonna probably post this list on our page. But it looks like we should be at like this is, and I guess the cool thing about it is that this is our 63rd episode of Sports and Drafts, and so I'll put so anyway, it's just awesome. And we have who the play it through person of the week was each week as well. So I had no idea you were doing this, man, and I love it because I'm like, I've actually grabbed stuff. It's like, I don't know if I've picked this one before. And but so anyway, this will definitely be helpful, and it'll get me to go back maybe and see some of those beers that I've had some before. Oh, I remember I like that one.
Yeah,
go out and buy it again. So no, thanks for doing that, man. That's absolutely great. And I didn't know you were doing that. So hey, with that, friends, we're at the end of the show. I saved the 2 olives so I wasn't chewing on camera, but the drink is dry now, and so is all of everything I have to say is all dry. And so fantastic show, Dave. I hope everyone enjoys week 14 of the NFL, and hopefully, maybe, who knows, next week we may have a new coach of the Oregon Ducks. I hope it's not that quick, to be honest. I'm okay I know it is recruiting season, but I'm okay if they wait till the end of the month and get through the Alabama Bowl and let the kids focus on that. So, Dave, any last words?
Steph Curry's hit 6, so he's got 10 left to break the record. He's 6 for 17, so he's shooting them. He's firing them up. They got 6.5 minutes left to go, and they're up 12. So see if he can get himself a couple more and put himself in range to get the record by their next game, which would be, let me see, when do they play again? Because I want to witness this. I want to see this if I can, him make history. Looks like they play Saturday at the Sixers on ABC on Saturday night. So could be a prime time television situation when he breaks the record. So that'll be really cool to be able to see that live on TV, him break that record.
That'd be awesome. Good on him. So, all right, everyone, have a fantastic week on behalf of Dave and Sports and Drafts. Have a fantastic week. Enjoy your sports, enjoy your life, and your family. So, be kind to one another, and we'll see you next Wednesday, 8 p.m. and on Facebook and YouTube, and 8 p.m. on the West Coast. All right, bye, everyone. Bye.